This is the Get Creative podcast, highlighting real people doing real deals. Join Pace Morby as he normalizes the conversation about creative finance. And now, on to the show.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Get Creative podcast. I've got a special guest, a young man named Dante Smith. He is a SubTo student of mine. I'm super proud of this guy. He's going to tell you about a deal that he's just finished and got paid on. But first, before we get to that, Dante, bro, how did you get started in real estate? What got you interested? And tell us kind of the journey from the start all the way until now.
Well, Pace, it's been a really long journey to where we are now. But starting off, I was this kid in high school, just doing what teenagers do, hanging out with friends, playing sports and those kind of things. But I always noticed that my family, we never had enough money that we needed to get the things that I wanted as a kid. And so I noticed all the time when I asked my mom and my dad for certain things, they would tell me no. And so I knew early on that it was a lack of money. And so what I did was I saw kids going to college, people working jobs, but they never really were exactly where I wanted to be in my life. And there's nothing wrong with working jobs. There's nothing wrong with going to college, but I wanted to be in a certain place in my life. I saw people online, with the Lamborghinis and the big houses. And I thought, well, hey, how do I get those kind of things? So I fell into this long journey of going on YouTube to search out, you can search anything on YouTube University. And I found out about this guy named Tai Lopez. So I invested into his course. My senior year of high school, I invested into his course called the 67 Steps of how to change your mindset. And so I looked at this course, and it gave me some good principles and things that I could use, but nothing really actionable that I could take and utilize in my life immediately. So that's when I kept doing a little bit more research, and I found out about wholesale real estate. So I can forget what the course is called, what the guy's name is, but I invested into his course on a website called Udemy Academy, and I invested into his course, and he talked about wholesaling real estate. And so he talked about wholesale, about ARV, and it just opened up this whole world of how you can get into real estate without any money, any credit, or anything like that. And then he talks about, flipping paper. And I'm like, well, I want to learn about that. That sounds interesting. I know real estate is one of the ways that you can become wealthy. I know that's one of the top ways you can become wealthy in America. So I dove into his course, and I started looking at the information. He told me about ARVs, about finding buyers, about contracts and getting properties under contracts and knowing property values. And so it was just a whole new world to me. I tried to take action here and there, but it didn't have everything. The course didn't have everything that I necessarily needed to fully embark on the journey in real estate. So, me being a kid fresh out of high school, I wasn't quite ready to fully, invest my time. I had family and friends telling me like, hey, that's a scam. What that guy's doing is not real. You're going to get in trouble. You're going to get yourself into a lawsuit. I even had people saying things like, well, why don't you just become a real estate agent? And I'm like, well, I know you can become an agent, but I see agents all the time, and they don't make the same amount of money that these guys that are investing in real estate are making. So I said, there's got to be another way. So I fell down a long rabbit hole of just investing into course after course. I was really locked into the idea of wholesaling real estate. So I invested into many courses of wholesale real estate. And, I feel like it was just on my end, it was more of like my mindset. I had to realize that you can have all the information in the world, but you definitely have to put that information to action in order for things to make it work for you. So I started paying attention to Ty the Flip Man. And actually that's where I had
Ty. Ty is I love him.
Yeah, Ty is great. And I was watching Ty for a very long time. He had his show going on Wednesdays where he talked all about wholesaling, and he simplified it in a way that was really understandable to me. So I was following him a lot, and I started taking a little action. I started putting out bandit signs and the whole 9 yards. And I actually started picking up traction. I got sellers calling me now. So that was pretty awesome. But now it's like, okay, what do I say to these sellers? Like, oh, do you want to buy my house? Do you want to sell your house to me at a discount? And it was kind of like, I still didn't know what to say, even though I knew the steps to take and how to get leads. I didn't know exactly where to go. So that's when one day Ty had a show on his, I think it was on his Wednesday show. You and Jamil came on to Ty's show, and that's when I found out about you. And that's how I got into your whole world. And you talked about creative finance and how you can wholesale creative deals. And it was just like, wow, like I want to do that. Like it just, everything you said in that particular interview resonated with me. So I started following you on YouTube, and I started watching your videos and watching your content. And it just really resonated with me about how you want to help people. And I was like, that's my main thing. I really want to help people and also, you know, do some deals at the same time. So I had this one deal that came up from a bandit sign that I had placed out. And the lady was like, I need to sell, I need to move, I need to downsize quickly. And I pitched a creative deal to her. I didn't know anything about what I was doing, but I pitched a creative deal. This is my first deal that I lost. So I pitched creative terms to her, you know, the best I could. I told her, how would you feel if we took over your payments and, you know, you sold your house to us on a payment plan? And she was actually down. She was actually down with the idea, but I really didn't know how to get any further than that. So I was kind of scared about what I was doing and not believing in what I was saying. So I kind of ghosted her myself. And then after that, at that point in time,
that's so
yeah,
good.
it's
You
crazy.
you didn't know where to go, so you started ghosting the seller. That's great.
Yes, and she's hitting me up like that's how I knew she really wanted to sell. She was hitting me up multiple times, but I just didn't know what to say. I didn't know how to move the conversation forward in order to help her out. You know, because I kind of felt like I'm not an expert. So, you know, I had this imposter syndrome. You know, and I didn't want to hit her back up and not be able to actually solve her problem. So I actually came across you did a 16-hour live, and I listened to you talk to sellers live in person. Like I'm watching you. I'm working at Amazon at the time, and I'm listening to you talk to sellers on this long live that you're going on. Like I'm tuned in, working and just listening and absorbing all this information. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like I have to be a part of that community. I need to know more. I need to know how I can elevate my expertise in order to help these sellers out, because I lost this deal. She eventually ended up selling with a real estate agent after a while of me not hitting her up. After that 16-hour live, I just said, hey, I got to join the mentorship. And that's what I did. I joined the mentorship, and now, you know, everything's been good. I've been networking with students, and I've been on my real estate journey doing it the right way.
Bro, that's amazing. So have you gotten your first deal closed yet?
Yes, I actually just did my first deal. It closed right before the new year hit. I actually wholesaled a Novation agreement.
You wholesaled a Novation agreement. What the hell? Why don't you tell people what that actually means? There's so many people that are watching this have no idea what that means.
So yeah, so what a Novation agreement is it's essentially a partnership between you and the seller. In my particular case, our seller, he's a military guy. He lives out in California, and he had this dusty old cabin out here in Franklin, Georgia, that needed a little love to get where it could be sold on the open market for full retail value. So his issue was that he was paying on two houses. He was paying on this cabin, and he was paying on the house that he also lives in California. And it was coming to a point where he couldn't afford those payments on the house here in Georgia. So what I structured with him was, hey, why don't you let us take over those payments and fix up your property and sell it on the open market? And so he was down for the idea. And that's essentially what we did. We put together what's called the Novation agreement, which is a partnership where he held his mortgage in place, allowed us to take over the payments to get it off of his back while we fixed the property up and sold it on the open market. And that was my first deal. I wholesaled that to a cash buyer that I found in the same area, and I got my first deal done.
Bro, that's amazing. So you've already gotten paid. The deal is closed. You're done, right?
Yeah, the deal is 100% done. I've paid, and I'm on to more opportunities. You know, I want to help some more sellers and get some more sellers out of situations that they can't handle.
Was it a big mindset shift for you? Like when you get your first deal, is it a game changer of like, wow, this is real? And do you also gain a lot of confidence once you get your first deal done?
Oh yeah, for sure. Once I did my first deal, it was basically a point in my mind where I was like, this is actually real. I can actually do this. Like, and it boosted my confidence on the phones with sellers in a fashion of that, hey, I can actually help you. I can help you out of this situation. Oh, you can't sell with a real estate agent. Oh, these guys are coming in with too low of a price for you. Well, why don't we do this? And just laying out all of the options that there are for these sellers, and knowing that I can help them. When you come and lead with value first, it's just, it takes all of the pressure away, because it is not a feeling of that you're trying to take their house from them. You're actually trying to help them out of a situation that that they actually need the help.
Love that. Absolutely love that. All right. So what are you looking for right now in your business? Now you got your first deal done. What are you looking for, and how can people reach out to you?
Well, the best way for people to reach out to me, I would say right now, is on Facebook. I'm on Facebook at Dante Smith, Dante Smith. What I'm looking for in my business is basically some more deals that I can help people that can't overcome certain things with their sellers. I'd love to be a person that can help you move those deals across the finish line. So I definitely would love to help people out, just get their first deal done.
Love it. Let's say I'm a wholesaler and I'm generating leads. Can I reach out to you and you can help me get those sellers locked up into like either a Novation agreement, SubTo, seller finance, Morby method, whatever it may be, creative finance wise? Can you help me with that?
Oh, absolutely. I can definitely help you with that. And I'm actually looking to take down some of my own SubTos and creative finance deals. So I would love to, if anybody's looking to invest with me and what I've got going on, that would be great as well.
Love that. Okay. So guys, Dante Smith, young kid. He's got a lot of hustle in him. He has proven he can close a deal now. He's got a mindset shift change. He is a guy who is tapped into my SubTo community. People love and adore this guy. I would reach out to them. Dante, I would give more than your Facebook, bro. I would give your email or your phone number or something so people can reach out to you directly. What's your email so we can have people reach out to you?
My email is lavishlyrealestate@gmail.com. That's LAVISHLY realestate@gmail.com. Feel free to reach out to me on my email or my Facebook.
I get a lot of people reach out to me, Dante, that are like, Pace, I want to work a deal with you. I got leads. And to be honest, guys, I'm too busy to help everybody. So if you're watching this podcast, we get about 10,000 views on YouTube on these, and we get about 20,000 downloads on the Get Creative podcast on iTunes and Spotify. If you are listening and you are a wholesaler that has leads that you feel like are asking for too much money, they are hoping to get either retail or more, and you need help with somebody pitching creative finance and terms to them, Dante Smith is the guy. So reach out to Dante. He's given you his email. Our team will make sure it's up on the screen the entire show. Dante Smith, thank you for coming to the Get Creative podcast, brother.
Thank you so much, Pace. I really appreciate the opportunity.
You're the king, brother. I will make sure everybody reaches out to you. And guys, if you reach out to me in my DMs and say, Pace, I need help with a lead, I'm just going to send you right to this episode. And when you get to this point, you'll know exactly why I sent you to this episode so that Dante Smith can help you with those leads. Thank you again, guys. This has been another episode of the Get Creative podcast.
If you enjoyed this content, like, subscribe, and share with your friends.